Hello, hello, you're welcome to my channel, Sewing with Toying. Good to have you here again. Today we're going to be drafting a basic bodice pattern. Basic as in basic. This basic body pattern, you can use it to draft other patterns. And what we need, the measurements that we'll be needing are the shoulder measurements for this person is 16. The bust is 42. We'll need the waist measurement, which is 37. We'll also need the nipple to nipple measurement, which is 9. We'll need the shoulder to bust measurement, bust point measurement, which is 11. We'll need the shoulder to waist measurement, which is 18. And we'll also be needing the blouse length, which is 23. So let's go ahead and draft. This is where we're going to be starting from, our shoulder point. We're going to be starting from this side here to our shoulder point. And what we're going to be needing to do is that we'll start here. We'll put the beginning of our tape rule here. The blouse length that we need is 23. So this paper is actually just 23 inches. Okay. So we're going to mark out our shoulder to bust measurement, our shoulder to waist measurement, and this is the end of the paper, is the blouse, full blouse length. And we do that, we take all our horizontal measurements to measure them out, or we'll come here to measure it also so that we can get the accurate 11, 18, and 23. So we'll use a ruler to rule it. Come here also. And we rule it. We come to this place here. This is our shoulder. Our shoulder measurement says we have 16 for our shoulder. We're going to be dividing our shoulder measurement into 2. And we come here. Our shoulder measurement divided into 2 is 8 inches. You mark it there. We also come, we're going to get our neckline, okay? The neckline. Basically, for a normal neck, we use a 3 by 3 inches. This is the width on the shoulder measurement, and 3 inches, this is the depth. This is how deep you want it to be. From this, because this is a basic pattern, this is just the basis of what you use. From here now, we'll now make a curve, okay? Or you can go ahead and draw a straight line so that you'll be able to make a curve easily. We come here, we measure our 3 inches, we draw our line, 3 inches. We come here also and draw our line, 3 inches. You can form a curve using our curved ruler, or you can form a V shape, whatever you want to form. But for a normal curve, you come here. For me, I normally use this as a guide. I put my measuring tape here. I use this as a guide to be able to get my curve, and it is 1 inch from this edge here. It is 1 inch to get a perfect curve. And this is the neck. This is the basic neckline formed. From this basic neckline, you can form any other type of neckline that you want to make. When you get here, you come back to our shoulder point, which is here, and we'll measure down by 1 inch. We'll measure down by 1 inch and connect to this neckline here. We'll connect it here. Why are we going down by 1 inch? Because the shoulder is not straight. The shoulder slopes down a bit. The shoulder, if a person, there's nobody that on this earth that has a straight shoulder, so it slopes down a bit. So we just take 1 inch from the beginning of the shoulder line here, measure it down by 1 inch. Then we come here and we calculate the upper bust measurement. That's where the armhole is going to be. How do we calculate the armhole? We calculate the armhole by calculating the bust measurement, bust divided by 6 plus 1.5. And that is 42 divided by 6 plus 1.5. And that is about 7.5 plus 1.5. That gives you 9. So you come here and you measure 9 inches down and mark it. This is where our armhole is going to start from. Then you make a rule down to the 9 inches. You join it down to the 9 inches. It's supposed to have started. You join it down to the 9 inches. Then we come here now, we draw our horizontal line also, because this is where the armhole starts from. Draw the horizontal line. After you've drawn down, now we want to get our armhole. What do we do to get our armhole? We come here, this line that we have drawn, that we calculated 9, we come here and we divide it by 2. When you divide it by 2, whatsoever you get, you mark it. When you mark it, because it's the front, at this point here, we come in by 0.5 inches. By 0.5 inches, we mark it there. Then you come here, because this place, you mark your bust point is 42. The bust point is 42, so we divide 42 by 4. We divide 42 divided by 4, and that gives us about 10.5. So you come here and you measure out 10.5. This is 10.5 here, right here. So you're going to connect all these dots. Sorry, this mark, this 0.5 should be inside. Please note this, it's supposed to be inside here, not outside the armhole. So we come here and we mark all this. We draw our curve using our curves ruler. Okay, then you come here and measure here. From this place to also, when you are taking this curve here, to know how curvy it should be, you don't curve it like this. You come here, this is a guide. At this corner here, you take it by 1.5 and you mark your 1.5 here, and you connect all your dots here. This makes it easier for you. This is a guide for you to know that you're on the right track. Okay, this is the armhole for the front. Then we now take our measurements from our bust point. We take our measurements on the bust line. The bust line says it's 42, so 42 divided by 4 is 10.5. We mark out our 10.5 here. We also put allowance. We put 1 inch for our waist darts. We're going to put a waist dart there, 1 inch. We add our 1 inch to it. Then we add our seam allowance, 1 inch. So this is where our dart ends. We come to our waist, which is 37. 37 divided by 4. You can just take your rule like this. This makes it the easier way to do it. You divide it into 2. Then you also divide it into 2 again. Okay, so you can get your accurate measurement. 37 divided by 2. You mark it. You put your waist dart. Your waist dart is 1 inch. Then you put your sewing allowance, which is another 1 inch, and you mark. So this is where this one ends. So your waist on your hip line, the hip line of the customer is 45. So you measure your 45 divided by 2, that's 22.5. Divided by 2 again. You mark out. You also put the dart allowance, which is 1, and you put your seam allowance also, and you mark. So now we're going to join our points together. But before then, because we're going to be doing darts, we have to fix our darts. Remember, we said that we're going to do our nipple to nipple is 9. So you come here, because this is how we're going to be able to get our darts, okay, our waist darts. So we come here and we mark out our nipple to nipple. Our nipple to nipple is 9. You divide it into 2, because this is one side of the front, okay, one side of the front. Since the nipple to nipple is 2 sides, you divide it into 2, okay, because I'm using one side, you're marking on one side. So this is 4.5. We mark on our bust point, we mark on our waist point, and we mark on the blouse of the dress, okay, to be able to get your measurements. And we come and we rule down. You take a straight rule down all the way to the bottom. To be able to make the darts for this on this the waist dart. We're going to mark 1 inch down right here. We're going to mark 2 inches from the bottom of the dress right here. Then we come to our waist measurement here. This is our waist, which is the center of the body, and where we have marked our dart, we will take 0.5 on the 2 sides of this marking. We take 0.5 here, we take 0.5 here. And what do? We just connect from this 1 inch that we've come down, connect here, and connect to 2 inches down up from there. We connect here and we connect here. Let's go ahead and do that. So before we go further, we're going to label. This is our bust line, and this is our waistline. This is the blouse length. So we've gotten the waist darts here. Now we're going to get the side darts. So what we just do is that for the side darts, we measure from this armhole up to the waistline, and what we have here is 9. But before then, let us join our sides. What we got, our sides where we marked. Okay, so now what we do now, we come here and we measure between the upper, the armhole and the waist. We have 9, so we're going to be marking 4.5 here. 4.5, which is half of it. We're going to divide it into 2. So from this 4.5, we're going to be attaching, we're going to draw a straight line up to the apex. That's the bust line, the bust point there, which is the nipple point. We come out by 1 inch and we mark it here. This is where we're going to be joining. On this line here, on the bust, we'll mark 0.5 at the beginning and 0.5 after it. Then we're going to connect the 0.5 here to this line. We're going to connect the second 0.5 to that point. The reason why we come out by 1 inch is here so that it will not bunch up by the time we are going to make the sewing. So this is our side dart too. Okay, so this is our bust line, our waistline, and the blouse length line. But on this, we're also going to drag our back pattern. For the back pattern, what we need for the neckline, the neck depth of this does not have to be 3 inches. We'll just use 1.5 or 1 inch for the neck depth. Then for the neck depth, we just use 1.5 inches. Then we connect 1.5 inches. Then we connect to the neck width. Then for the back, this initial point that we had here for the back armhole, we are just going to connect because it's the front armhole and the movement of the arm goes to the front and not to the back. So that is why we're going to connect it from the back. We're going to connect this one directly like this. We don't need to come in by 1/2 inch here. So we connect like this. This is for the back. We connect it all the way like this. So now what we're going to do now is that we're going to cut it all out. We're going to cut out all this pattern now, and when we cut, we're going to place on the back paper, so I'll be able to trace it out. Stay tuned. I've cut out the armhole of my back pattern, and I cut out the shoulder. I didn't cut out the shoulder for the back, so I put them together to make it easier, and I cut out the shoulder. Okay, so there we go. We mark it out very well, so that'll be easy for us. We mark it out very well, so it'll be easier for us. So we go back. This is the front, then now we can work on the back. I'm going to work on the back now. So we make our measurements, we make our lines. We make our lines from the points that we have marked out, so that we can draft our waist. We mark our lines. That's the bust, and this is the waist. From here now, we measure our 4.5 so that we can get our waist draft. We measure our 4.5 inches for our waist. This is our nipple to nipple. We come here, I'll measure our 4.5 here. We want to get our waist draft, our waist darts. We come here, take our line down, all the way down. On this place, same way we drafted the front, we take 0.5 on the two sides of it. We mark 2 inches from the bottom of the bodice, and we mark 1 inch from the nipple point down. So from there, we're going to be connecting our lines. And that's it. So we're just going to label. This is the center back. Okay, this is the bust line. This is the waist line. For this one, this is our center front, center front. So you can see both of them, center back, and this is our center front. So I hope you've learned something today. It's as easy as ABC. This is used for so many patterns, so many dresses, so many tops. You can use it. This is basic and it's very easy to do. I hope you learned something. Please subscribe, press on that subscription button, and I'll see you in the next video very, very soon. Take care. God bless you. Bye.